Welcome everyone, thanks for coming. Today we're going to be covering the last quarter for the Dev Services Roadmap. We've got a few teams to present today. We're going to follow a similar format to last quarter. So we've got the Dev Services guys, we're going to be covering the roadmap items in the last quarter. We're also going to be having the Cape Town team led by Rick. They're going to be showing us the Smart Teller Accelerator product that they've been working on over the last 3 months. We're going to have the innovations guys showing us the mobile SDK work that they've been doing. And then we're also going to have Foley and his team showing us the work they've been doing on document extraction and classification. So I'm quickly going to cover the agenda. It's going to be quite a lot of stuff that we're going through today, so we'll take breaks between each section. But first up, I'm going to be introducing you to a new concept. It's our new UI concept called DEX. Following that will be myself again, taking you through the new workspace for the developers. That's the Solution Explorer. Following that will be Stefan. He's going to be taking us through the nice work he's done on App Builder. He's done a full-on revamp there, improved the usability, let's have dark theme applied. So he's going to be taking us through that. Following that, I'll be showing you the work that Sean's been doing for us on desktops and taking you through the new desktop concept. When I'm finished there, we're going to have Rudy showing us custom app theming and styling, as well as taking us through a theming engine and a theme designer. Then it'll be me showing you our new service builder product. After that will be Nico, and he's going to be showing us the latest version of the report designer. After Nico will be Brendan. He's going to be showing us prefabs functionality. Prefabs is essentially an extension to our plugin functionality, so that we can now do full stack plugins. You can do plugins with data models. Following that will be Eric and Brenda. They're going to be showing us the Smart Teller Accelerator product. Then it will be Foley showing us document extraction and classification. And finally will be Sashin wrapping us up and showing us all the nice work that the innovations guys have been doing on the mobile SDKs. Right, so to start, I want to introduce you guys to a new concept that's for Cyber and Enterprise UI. We're calling it DEX. And yeah, we are at the login screen for DEX. Right, so the concepts of DEX, essentially what we've been focusing on in the last quarter is improving our UI tremendously. So one of the major focuses on the UI has been user experience, and the name DEX, it's an abbreviation for digital user experience, and you'll see that throughout the presentation when we move into the Solution Explorer, when we go into App Builder, the Service Builder. A huge amount of work has been done in terms of trying to enhance the experience of the user when they're working with Cyber and Enterprise front end. And we've essentially reimagined it. We've gone back to the beginning, and we've rebuilt it from the ground up with this new DEX concept. You'll see out our login screen, the very first thing that you're going to notice is that there's a new style, and that is our new dark theme that's been applied to DEX. Now, when we've rebuilt this, we've taken a lot of things in mind. We've taken a lot of feedback. One of the things that the guys have been asking for is theming, and we have built the whole of DEX UI, Cyber and Enterprise's front end, on top of our new theming engine. Now, the theming engine allows us to build, whatever custom themes we want for the UI. And currently, what we've done is we've built a professional-looking dark theme. We felt that to start off with, we wanted to focus on one specific theme, get it working, get it looking professional, and get it out there. And going forward, we're gonna create a light theme and some other themes, but for now, going with the dark, I think, a lot of developers traditionally prefer to work in dark, to avoid screen glare and so on. So we settled for that for now, but when Rudy takes you through the theming engine, you're going to see that there's a lot of power in it. You can customize it, to your liking. So when we get to theming, we're going to have a little bit more look at that. For now, you're going to notice that as we move through DEX, there's a consistent theme applied. So there's a very consistent look and feel throughout the Solution Explorer, throughout App Builder, throughout Service Builder. It very much feels like one product. So another thing that I wanted to introduce you to the concept of with DEX is the entry point. So what you're going to see from this login screen now is we're going to log in here, and the first thing that hits us is now the new Solution Explorer. So the idea behind DEX is that the workspaces that you now work in, they're very much catered towards the type of user that's going to be using the platform. So in the past, we've had Studio, we've had a single workspace, and it's functioned for us as a kind of a large object repository that handles essentially all of the functionality that exists within Cyber and Enterprise. With the new DEX solution, what we're looking to do, we're trying to cut up that functionality into various sections, which is more applicable to the user group that's going to be using it. So for example, if I'm a developer, when I log into DEX, the day-to-day tasks and workflow that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be building apps, I'm going to be building reports, I'm going to be building solutions for customers, and the features and functionality that's relevant to me and that I need to use is going to be immediately available. I don't need to now be confused with things about security or health monitoring, or DevOps type things. The Solution Explorer is there for me to do my day-to-day workflow without having to worry about those things. So before we get started and before I introduce you to the Solution Explorer, our new workspace, I just want to, I'm going to log in here quickly. Right, so we log in, and here we go. As a developer logging in, now I've been presented with the Solution Explorer. As I said, depending on your role, potentially in the future, if I have a different role, perhaps I'm a DevOps guy, I've set my user preferences that I want my default workspace with Index to be the deployment manager, perhaps the health monitor workspace. It's very much going to be configurable and dependent upon the user and customized towards their user experience and the way that they want to work with Cyber and Enterprise. So for now, I've logged in as a developer or a builder or a configurator, and I'm presented with a Solution Explorer. Now, before I take you through this small set of steps in the Solution Explorer and show you, how to build an app, I want to just try and get across again the concepts of the user experience and what we were really trying to aim to achieve with the DEX concept. So to do that, I'm going to take you back to our traditional workspace, Studio. And you'll see now, if we log into Studio, as I said, it's a workspace that encaptures all of Cyber and Enterprise in terms of its functionalities and features. Now, traditionally, well, in the past, the reason for that is that we were trying to catch up on time. We had a lot of work to do. We had a lot of development to get done. We had a lot of functionality to add to Cyber and Enterprise. And I think because of that, one of the things that was a bit of a weaker side of things is that we didn't quite get the layout right in terms of how people are going to be using the system. And we've had feedback from guys to say that that was a bit of an issue. And you can see now, if I log in as a user, this is the workspace that I'm presented with. Now, picture yourself being a new user or a new developer. When I log in here, unless somebody gives me a little bit of training to tell me, okay, I need to, the first thing I need to do is set up a document. I need to go here to find my documents, or I need to go to process flows to find an app. Or unless I've read a wiki, I'm going to be a bit lost at this stage. So the system's not telling me what I need to do and where I need to go. So I think the developer guys know that, if I wanted to now set up an app, what I need to do is I need to move to data. I'm going to go to documents. I'm going to add a new document. I need to then create a file store and associate a file store. I'm then going to move to my process flows. Our process flow is one of our Cyber and 7 concepts that we pulled forward. So we were creating apps underneath the process flow. So I'd need to move to my workflow, create a process flow, create a process within that, specify a type of process, and that would then allow me to specify finally my app and open up into my app builder. Again, another issue with this is, let's say now I've started a piece of work, I'm working on some apps, and I log out of Cyber and Enterprise. Now, the following day I want to come back in, I want to continue my work, and the issue here is that, again, I don't have an area of work, something that I'm working with, the apps that I've been busy with. So what I need to do now is, go back to those menus. I need to go and hunt for that app or hunt for that process, have a look for it. And potentially I'm working with a large client solution. I have, 10 reports, 10 apps. So it can become a little bit cumbersome. And, we've taken your guys' feedback. A lot of people have spoken to us about it, and we've incorporated that, into our thinking. And this is where the DEX concept has come from. So I'm now going to go back to the Solution Explorer, and I'm going to show you our new process and our new way of trying to do things and go about things. So yeah, you see we're in the Solution Explorer. So I want to show a couple of quick concepts to you in terms of when you're in the new DEX environment and the new DEX UI, you're going to see some consistent patterns. one of the things that is going to be consistent across DEX is this nav bar at the top here. So whenever you're inside DEX, whatever workspace you're in, you're going to see this nav bar at the top. You're going to have your user profile available to you, and you're going to have this new icon available to you. We call it the waffle icon. And the waffle icon allows you to essentially navigate between your workspaces. So as I mentioned, I log in as a developer. I default to my Solution Explorer workspace. But it's not necessarily the case that that's the only workspace I deal with. Potentially, I'm a guy that works in Solution Explorer. I also want to build packages, so I need the ability to move to the new deployment manager. That has its own separate workspace. So to do that, I have the waffle. I can click my waffle and I can maneuver to different workspaces. So currently we've got Studio here, so we can navigate back to our old legacy workspace if we need to set up schedules and so on. We've got the Solution Explorer, and then we have a new tab with our deployment manager, which is coming very soon. And over time, we're going to expand our workspaces to cater to other types of features and functionality. So the nav bars are very consistent concepts across DEX. You're gonna see that fairly often throughout the workspaces. Now let's get started now with Solution Explorer. So I want to take you through that quickly. Again, we'll go back to what I was chatting about a little bit earlier when we were in studio, the process of creating an app. So I've logged in as a developer or a builder. Let's say that I'm wanting to start a new solution. I want to create now an account opening solution. So the concepts of a solution, we've gone with that. Some companies and products use project. The terms are synonymous. We've chosen solution because a lot of the development kits like Visual Studio and so on use solution, and we thought it was quite a nice practice to follow. So I've logged in here. I want to create a new account opening solution. If you see, as a new user, I log in here and it tells me I've got no solutions configured on this environment, and the first thing I'm seeing here is that I need to add something. So I'm going to click add. I move into the new solution wizard, and I'm going to start a new account opening solution. So I'm just going to call that account opening. And yeah, I can enter the name, a description of our solution that we're building, and I'm going to save my solution. Right, so what do I want to do next? So I'm in a solution. I need to add some stuff. I want to create some stuff. I want to build some stuff. I want to create some apps, potentially some reports. Again, I have my add. I can choose add, and what can I do? I can add something new or existing. For this demo, I'm going to add a new app just to give you a feel for the new app creation process. But what we've done for you is we've actually built a small little demo system, a small little account opening system with a number of apps on the desktop and so on. So this first app, I'm going to create it new, so I can just show you the process of creating an app. After that, I'm going to add some existing apps and so on. It takes a little bit of time to set it up, so we didn't want to live demo creating an entire system. So for now, we're going to choose new. We are now run through a wizard. What type of object do you want to build? We have the option to build an app, a report. We can add a new theme. What we want to do is we want to build a new web app. So we're going to choose app type web app. And I'm going to call this my first app. Within DEX, we've also added a notification system. We want the UI to be, fairly dynamic and interactive and speaking to the developer as he's working. So you notice there, I've added a new app. The notification has popped up to tell me that I'm busy adding a new app. So I'm not sitting and wondering, what's happening. So my first app has been created. I now want to design this app. So I can either double click or I can click the tool here to go into the build. And Solution Explorer now sends me into the app builder, so I can now start building my app. So the first thing I want to do in my new app is I want to create a data model. Let's call this my first data model. And yeah, we are in the app builder. You can see it's very heavily revamped. Stefan is going to take you through this in more detail. For now, I'm just showing you, that basic concept of user experience, quickly and easily moving through the creation process and building my solution. So we've come into the app builder. Straight away, it's telling me, the next step. What do I need to do now? I need to add my data model. I've added my data model. Now what do I need to do? I want to add a document because, the documents are the first thing you're going to set up on your app. So I'm going to add a new document. I'm going to create my first document. I'm going to assign a file store, and I'm going to create some fields. Right. There we go. So I've created my first document on my data model. And from here, I can start building my app. So I'm going to move to the page section next potentially. It might be I need to create some stored procs, some views. I don't want to take you too much through this right now because Stefan's going to be doing that. But, it was just to give you a little bit of an idea of the process and the feel and how much easier it is now to do things in DEX. So we've created our first app, we've saved it, we are, let's say we've added some pages and so on. We're happy with that. We close the app builder, and there we go. There's our first app created within our solution. Now, within Cybern, obviously we build much more complex solutions traditionally than just a single app. So again, that's where I feel that we've delivered a little bit more than our competitors. The original vision was to be able to easily build an app. We've tried to go a step further than that because one of our architectural principles was to support the power developer. And in doing that, what we said is that we want to be able to build complex business solutions and try and simplify that for our customers. So instead of just saying, okay, we can easily build an app, we can actually build a full solution. We can easily build a full solution. So in addition to an app, we are now going to add further elements. We don't just want to be able to build apps. We want to be able to add things like reports. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you the add existing functionality. So if you see when I click add, I click existing. What this now is doing for me is it's showing me all of the existing objects in the system. So what we just did was we created a first app. Now what I'm doing is I'm pulling existing apps, existing reports, or potentially existing themes from the system. So picture if I was wanting, if I'm a developer, I've come in and I need to do a quick feature request. So I'm going to create a feature request solution, and let's say there was a case maker app that already exists in the system, and I need to make a change to that. I'm going to hunt in here for the case maker, and I'm going to then select it, and I'm going to pull that into my solution. So that's typically what the add existing pattern will be. It's I'm pulling an existing app or an existing report from the repository. The reason in this case that I'm pulling existing is, as I said, we've pre-built the account opening solution for you, and we have a number of pre-built components that I'm now want to pull into the solution in order to show you guys the different features and functionalities. So as I said, we've created this functionality now within Cybern to be able to easily build a solution. I'm going to expand out my solution. I'm going to add further items and objects to my solution. So we want to expand out our account opening solution. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull a case maker app. This is one of the apps that we need to add to our solution. I'm going to pull in a case checker app. I'm looking to pull in a track and trace app. I would like to pull in a report into my solution, so I'm going to pull in a queue tracker report. Sorry, it's the turnaround time report. And then we're going to look to pull in our desktop. So there we have it, account opening desktop. I'll be covering desktops in a separate section. For now, it's just to say that our desktop is going to allow us to pull all of our apps together and show it within the front end to the user. So the final thing that I might want to add to the solution is a service. I actually want to create a small service for you guys that allows us to do some account validation. I'm not going to add existing on this one because I'd like to live demo that. So we're going to build a service, an account validation service within our account opening solution, and we're going to do that. We'd like to do that live in the demo. So for now, I'm going to leave that out. When we get to that section, I'll add it. And there we go. So I've essentially populated my solution. You can see how quickly and easily I was able to do that. I've pulled in a number of existing apps. Potentially you were working on a project with some existing apps, and now from within here, you can quickly and easily go and edit any of these objects that we've pulled in. I'll click design, it pulls me back into App Builder. There, I've opened up one of my apps to take a quick look at. if I was to design on the desktop, I'll go into that and so on. So there we've created our solution, our first solution, our account opening solution. We've created our first app and we've added some objects. Within the different sections now, we're going to expand on this. We're going to go into desktops. We're going to go into creating a service and so on. But I just want to show you a little bit more features and functionality within Solution Explorer. One of the things that we've added is the tabs functionality. So the tabs functionality is going to, again, it's a pattern that we want to consistently apply across DEX. So it's going to be available to you within the app builder, within other workspaces. And the tabs functionality allows you to view your data in the manner that you choose to. So the idea being that, if you're working in a solution that has a fairly large number of objects, but potentially it's a large client solution, you have 10 apps, you've got 15 reports in there, and it can become very cumbersome. I have seen solutions with microflows with 30 to 40 microflows in there, and it can be difficult to manage if the developer doesn't have a way to organize his work. So a tab is very much like a folder concept within your solution. I've clicked add. I'm adding a new tab there, and what I want to show you is just organizing our solution in a way that we can view our data how we see fit. So I'm going to create a new tab that allows me to only view the reports within my solution. So to do that, I open my new tab, and it allows me to now apply rules to this tab. So the first rule that I want to apply is I want to tell it that the property of type, I want to use property of type, and I want to say where it's equal to, and I want to choose a type of report. Now, Jason has built a very nice thing for us when we're building our tabs, in that it allows you to preview. So when I set my filter rule, it's going to show me what is going to be displayed on this tab based on the rules and criteria that I've set up in my rules above here. So if I wanted to create a more complex type of folder or tab, I'd add some further rules. In our case, we have very few items in our solution, so I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stick to type equals report. I'm going to save my rule, and there we go. We have a new tab. So I just want to name my tab here to keep things organized. I'm going to call it the reports tab. And there we go. So from within our solution, we now have two separate views. I have my all view showing you all the objects in my project, and I have my reports view, which is showing us our turnaround time reports. Just to give you an idea of the complexity of the rules you can create, we can set up a further tab. We're going to call this custom tab. I'm going to filter on name, and I'm going to look for something very specific. So name contains checker. So everything in relation to checker, I want to show that on this tab. So there I've set my rule. Again, my preview is showing me that I'm only going to see the case checker because that's the only thing that matches the criteria. I'm happy with that, and I'm now going to call this a checker tab. Right, so there we go. So within our solution, we've got all of our objects. We can easily view our reports, and we can view our checker. And these tabs, we maintain state throughout the lifetime of the user's profile. So if you log out, you log back in, these tabs are still going to be there. You don't have to create them, from scratch each time. And I'm guessing over time, guys will customize all their tabs to their liking, and it allows you to, really have that enhanced user experience when you're working with your tools. Okay, so I think that about covers it for the Solution Explorer.